The call that they got was, your son has been blown up by an IED and he may or may not live. Well, to start, anyone who joined the military after September 11th, 2001 knew, or pretty much knew, that they were signing up to go to war. And to me, that was what I was born to do. Yeah, so I was not happy about it, is maybe the wrong way to put it, but I was eager to be there. Some of us have this thing inside. Maybe you can't always articulate it, but it's a feeling. There's just something that you know that you want to do. Like more than just want, but need to do. It's just inside you. It's just wired into your DNA. And to me, that was soldiering. I mean, what was I like as a high schooler? I mean, you break it down, an obsession for skateboarding. That became what I did every day. I mean, it'd be an hour or two before school would start, come home, forget any homework I had, go straight to skateboarding, do that till the sun went down, so a couple hours, go in and eat, go back out, try on as many lights as I could, skate for another couple hours until my mom had enough, dream and fantasize about skateboarding, and then to do it the next day. I was entirely consumed. Basically, the military thing goes as far back as I can recall. I mean, I remember really understanding what the Army did and was beyond just like a general concept. So about 8 years old, 1998, after the movie Saving Private Ryan came out. You know, sometimes when you're behind the screen, there's this calmness, maybe because sometimes the characters are calm, but the ones that really show that you're never safe do a good job. You know, like Saving Private Ryan, they made sure that those 8 in the beginning were always looking around on patrols. Like, there's no more feeling discomfort than when you're out on patrol alone. So June 6, 2011 was the day that I was hit by an IED. At that time, my role was, I was what you call an RTO, radio telephone operator. Basically, it was my job when the Taliban starts to shoot at us, is to talk to our command and to explain what's happening. Basically, the Taliban, they are smart when it comes to tactics and movement. And one of the biggest elements of successful military engagements is communication. And I don't know what degree they knew we could apprehend their messages, but they would speak in some degree of code, but it was obvious enough what was gonna happen. So we had a translator with us, you know, carrying the walkie-talkie, intercepts their message that basically translated to, we have the Americans in our sights and we're ready to attack. So I get the message, I turn around to my guys, tell them the message, keep your eyes open, is potentially going to get attacked from this direction, and keep your spacing. So now I turned around and I took 1 or 2 more steps, and then that is when the IED goes off and the ground erupts from beneath my feet. I heard this cacophonous roar, just this roaring sound for a split moment, and then hearing nothing but the high-pitched whining ringing in my ears. I saw this bright flash followed by a little more than darkness, and then the sensation of weightlessness came over my body. So initially from that blast, both my legs were blown off above the knee. And then I landed, I think is what happens, I landed on my left arm and shattered my left elbow. And as soon as I did that, I could hear the man who was in front of me, Lieutenant Cote, and he yells, IED. I can hear our medic, the man who's behind me, he was like, hey, I've got a double amputee. So just figuring out my position between the two, I'm like, okay, like that's me. Taliban use what we call secondary IEDs. And what this is you have one IED set up and there's one or more daisy chained to it. So when someone like me is blown up and our medic and lieutenant or whoever else comes to me, the Taliban will set off the next ID. So Doc Newby and everyone else that came to me risked their lives knowing full well that there could be secondaries. They didn't waste time looking for any, they didn't wait to see what else would happen. They came directly to me. And if they hadn't, I would have been killed on June 6, 2011. And because of them, I'm still here. You can only smile at bravery like that, and that's why you join, is to be around those people, those soldiers who are willing to risk everything just for the chance that you'll still live. There's no guarantee. And one of the things I'm most grateful for, on top of having the leading surgeons of the world working on you, as well as the most experienced collective medical staff, they made a point to show like, okay, this patient did this. It was this idea that as long as you wanted to do it, they were gonna support it. So in the hospital bed, I remember thinking, I wanna skateboard again. And the nurses were like, yeah, okay, hey, you're gonna do that. And I asked if they'd ever seen anyone do that, and they said no. But they're confident on the process I was about to go into, and that if I wanted to do it, I could do it. I owe every last bit of success, whatever one could call success in my life, to those that were taking care of me. A couple months before I would to be transitioning out of the Army, I got a call from a good friend of mine's ex-wife who was going through the nursing program, going on to a master's of nursing. And she said, hey, would you mind speaking at a conference? Here's kind of this accidental thing to come about. And I didn't really pay too much thought to it. I'd never really done any real public speaking before, not beyond a simple presentation. The thing freshest in my mind was the impact that the nurses that I had on me. And they're all so uniquely different. So I was able to just go up and just share what gift each nurse gave to me and how it had a positive impact. I guess it was a hit. Someone in the audience asked me to speak the next day at another conference. And that started the wheels turning into what is now my speaking profession. It was just a really cool segue, something I didn't expect to happen. I'm an accidental public speaker. But I guess after that, it was like someone would ask if I would speak at something. I'd be like, yes, that sounds like fun. I enjoy that. So I was starting to kind of get molded in different ways as a speaker. So one was about showing a nurse's impact, and the other was about helping and advocating for other veterans. And then after that, I got asked to speak at a skate park to a bunch of kids. You're faced with a challenge, and you can choose to quit or not, but don't even think about quitting. It's just about one day at a time, moving forward. And then just knowing if you put your mind to it, there's nothing that you can't grasp. You may need some different tools or different methodologies, but it's in you. And that's the probably more powerful things I've ever learned and I've experienced every day. And I hope others can see that too.